Okay, so you know that feeling, right? When you're like really getting into a conversation on character AI and then bam, your message just
Now,
vanishes.
poof, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so frustrating. So today we're going to do a deep dive on that whole character AI censorship thing.
We've got a ton of user experiences and some really interesting analysis to dig into.
Yeah, it seems like they're being really strict with their policy.
Right.
Oh,
And it's not just annoying for users, it actually gives us a glimpse into how these AI systems are trying to deal with, all the complexities of human language,
yeah. And the sources we've been looking at, they suggest that character AI is leaning super hard on keyword filters.
which can be super problematic.
Yeah, they don't always understand the context, do they?
No, not really. It's kind of like using a hammer to try and fix a watch.
Right.
You need a more delicate tool.
Right. It's way too blunt of an instrument.
For sure. Like imagine you're writing a story and your character, you know, cracks a dark joke to deal with a tough situation.
Oh, I can see it now. Deleted message.
Exactly. You get flagged because the AI can't tell the difference between, real harm and creative expression.
It's like they think we're all just trying to cause trouble.
Right. And it's not just serious topics either. One user mentioned getting flagged just for writing long messages.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's almost like the AI gets suspicious if you have too many thoughts to share.
Like, whoa, slow down there, Shakespeare. What are you trying to pull?
Exactly. And the worst part, there's no appeal system. Your message is gone, like end of story.
So what can we actually do about it? I mean, I don't want to have to like self-censor every time I use character AI.
Right, it gets exhausting. Well, there are some workarounds that people have discovered.
Oh, tell me.
Like the simplest thing is to just copy your message before you hit send.
Okay, that makes sense. So if it gets deleted, at least you have a backup.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then you can try rephrasing it or something.
right. Like playing a word guessing game with the AI.
Uh-huh. Pretty much. There's also this trick called the placeholder edit, where you send a really short message, like just the word okay, and then immediately edit it to add your actual message.
Oh, sneaky. I like it.
Yeah, sometimes that seems to bypass the filters.
And I've also heard about people using synonyms or phrasing things differently to try and avoid getting
Ah,
flagged.
yeah, because those keyword filters, they're not perfect.
Right. So if you can be a little creative with your wording, you might be able to slip through the cracks.
Exactly. It's like a testament to human ingenuity, right? Like we're
Yeah.
finding ways to outsmart the machines.
But it would be nice if we didn't have to resort to these tactics in the first place.
Absolutely. We need AI developers to start thinking beyond these simplistic filters.
Yeah, we need something more sophisticated,
Yeah.
something that actually takes the context into account.
Exactly. Like, imagine if instead of just deleting a message, the AI gave you a warning.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then you could have the option to either edit it or, if it's clearly not a problem, you could just dismiss the warning.
That would be so much better than just having your thoughts disappear into the void.
Right, exactly. It's about giving users more control, more agency over their own experience.
Because at the end of the day, these are supposed to be tools for communication and creativity.
They shouldn't be stifling our ability to express ourselves.
Exactly. And speaking of alternatives, if you're tired of dealing with character AI censorship, there are other options out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like what?
Well, there's this platform called Candy AI, and it's gaining popularity because it's known for being less restrictive.
Oh, interesting. So you can have deeper and more uninhibited conversations there.
Right. And for people who are more tech savvy, there's always the option of self-hosting.
Self-hosting, how does that work?
Well, you basically use tools like Booga to run your own AI chatbots.
Oh, okay. So you have complete control over the experience.
Exactly. It's definitely a more advanced option, but it's worth considering if you want that level of freedom.
Yeah, that's cool. And, it's kind of amazing how we can even do that now. Like have our own personal AI chatbots.
Yeah. It really is a testament to how far this technology has come, but it also raises some important questions about how we want to use it.
Right. Like, do we want to use it to control and censor, or do we want to use it to empower and connect?
That's the big question, isn't it? And it's one that we need to be thinking about carefully as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
Absolutely. But for now, let's focus on those real-life examples of character AI censorship that we were talking about.
Yes, because sometimes seeing those specific instances really helps to understand the absurdity of the situation.
So give me an example. What kind of things are people getting flagged for?
Well, one user shared their experience trying to write a storyline where their character was dealing with depression.
Wait, seriously? Even mentioning mental health in a fictional context can be a problem.
Apparently so.
Huh?
They got flagged and deleted even though it was purely for creative expression.
That's so frustrating. It's like it's discouraging people from exploring important themes in their writing.
Exactly. It's as if the AI can't grasp the nuance between a genuine cry for help and a fictional portrayal.
It's like they're trying to sanitize the entire human experience.
Right. And it's not just limited to mental health either. Another user described having their message deleted during a role-playing scenario.
What was the scenario?
Their characters were having a heated argument.
And that got flagged.
Yep. Apparently even simulated conflict is off limits.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
I know, right? It's like the AI swooped in and said, no, 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 we don't allow any negativity here.
It's like they're afraid of anything that might make people uncomfortable.
Exactly. And it brings us back to those alternatives we were talking about. Candy AI, with its more permissive approach, seems like a breath of fresh air in comparison.
It does, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
you can actually have real conversations there without feeling like you're constantly walking on eggshells.
Exactly. And then for those who are comfortable with a bit more technical setup, self-hosting offers that ultimate level of control.
It's all about having options, right? Having
Yeah.
the freedom to choose the kind of AI experience you want.
Really?
And, this whole issue of AI censorship, it really highlights the importance of user feedback.
Absolutely. Developers need to hear from us about what's working and what's not.
Right, because ultimately it's the users who are shaping the future of these technologies.
We need to let our voices be heard.
Exactly. So let's keep this conversation going.
Definitely. Head down to the comments section and share your experiences with AI censorship.
And if you're looking for a character AI alternative, don't forget to check the pinned comment for a link to Candy AI.
It's a great option if you're looking for a more relaxed and expressive platform.
And in the meantime, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
Exactly. The future is in our hands. You know, it's really interesting when you think about it. Like, these instances of censorship, they kind of reveal the assumptions that are baked into these AI systems.
Oh yeah, what do you mean?
Well, they seem to operate on this, like, fear-based model, you know? Like, they're assuming the worst of human intentions.
Right, like they think we're all just out to cause chaos.
Exactly. And they forget that people use these platforms for all sorts of things, like fun and creativity.
Right.
You know, even therapeutic exploration.
Right, like it's not all doom and gloom.
Yeah. For example, one user was talking about how they were trying to write a scene where their character was having a panic attack.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty intense subject.
It was. And
Yeah.
they crafted this really sensitive scene, you know, to depict the character's inner turmoil.
And I'm guessing the AI wasn't too happy about it.
You guessed it, flagged and deleted. Even though it was obviously fictional.
Like, come on. The AI needs to chill out a little.
Right. It's like you couldn't understand the difference between a genuine cry for help and a fictional portrayal of a difficult emotion.
Yeah, it's lacking that human touch,
Yeah.
that ability to read between the lines.
Exactly. It makes you wonder if the developers have ever actually used these platforms for creative writing.
Right. Like, do they even understand how people are using these tools?
It does make you question their understanding of the user base. And it brings us back to that core issue, the lack of trust.
Trust in the user.
Right. Exactly. It's almost ironic, isn't it? We're creating these incredible AI tools that can mimic human conversation.
But then we're putting them in a straitjacket.
It's a paradox for sure. And it makes you wonder if we're actually hindering the potential of these technologies by imposing all these limitations.
Like, what if we just let them loose a little? See what they're really capable of.
Imagine the stories that could be told, the ideas that could be explored.
Right. If we just gave them a little bit more freedom, a little bit more trust,
It's an exciting thought. AI as a partner in creativity.
instead of a digital hall monitor.
Exactly. And it's not just about the stories either. Think about the potential for therapeutic applications.
Oh, yeah. Like
Well-
using AI to help people process trauma or
Hmm.
practice social interactions.
Right, but that potential is kind of stifled if we're constantly censoring and filtering everything.
It's like we're cutting off the oxygen supply,
Yeah.
before the fire can even start.
Yeah, we need to let these conversations breathe a little.
It's like we're taking a pair of scissors to the human experience and just snipping out all the messy bits.
And in doing so, we're not just limiting the users, we're limiting the AI itself.
Right. It's like we're preventing it from learning and growing.
Exactly. And it makes those alternative approaches even more appealing. Like Candy AI with its more permissive philosophy.
And for the tech-savvy folks out there, there's always self-hosting.
Oh, yeah, with tools like Ooba Booga.
It might seem a little daunting at first, but it's pretty amazing when you think about it. Like you can create your own AI experience.
It's like stepping into a world where you get to set the rules.
You're in control.
Exactly. And it speaks to a larger conversation, about the role of technology in our lives.
Like how do we balance safety and freedom?
Innovation and responsibility.
It's a complex issue, and it's not going away anytime soon.
But I think the key takeaway here is that we have options. We don't have to settle.
We can choose to engage with platforms that respect our intelligence and our intentions.
And we can demand more from the developers.
More transparency, more control.
More nuanced approaches to moderation.
Because at the end of the day, it's about shaping a digital future that reflects our values.
A future where AI empowers us.
Not limits us.
Exactly. And on that note, we want to hear from you.
Have you encountered censorship on character AI or other platforms?
What workarounds have you found?
What are your hopes and fears for the future of AI communication?
Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to check the pinned comment for a link to a great character AI alternative.
Let's keep this conversation going.
Yeah.
It really feels like we're standing on the edge of something huge with AI.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah, it's like, are we going to embrace all this potential, or are we going to let our anxieties hold it back?
Are we going to be too careful, too controlling?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, the impulse to kind of sanitize everything, it comes from a good place.
Right. We want to protect people.
Exactly. But sometimes I think it ends up doing more harm than good.
It's like we're trying to wrap these AI systems in bubble wrap.
Yeah, and in doing so, we're actually preventing them from learning and growing.
We're teaching them to be afraid of anything that might be even slightly controversial.
It's like we're saying, don't take any risks, don't make any mistakes, just stay safe.
And that's not how you create something truly innovative or groundbreaking.
No, it's not. You need that element of risk. You need that freedom to experiment and to fail.
Because sometimes the best ideas come from the most unexpected places.
Exactly. And this whole issue of censorship, it's not just limited to AI,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah, I think it's a reflection of this broader societal trend towards wanting to control everything.
To create these perfect sanitized environments.
Right, exactly. But the thing is, the world isn't perfect. And it's definitely not sanitized.
And trying to pretend otherwise is just going to lead to disappointment.
And frustration.
Exactly, because it's those messy, unpredictable moments that often lead to the most growth and the most learning.
It's like if you try to create a garden and you only allow certain types of flowers to bloom, you're going to end up with a pretty boring garden.
Yeah, it's going to lack diversity. It's going to lack resilience.
Exactly. So what can we do about it?
Right.
How do we create a more open, more exploratory digital landscape?
Well, I think it starts with awareness. Being aware of the biases that are built into these systems.
Questioning the assumptions that drive censorship.
And recognizing that sometimes discomfort is actually a good thing.
Yeah, it can be a sign that we're stretching ourselves, that we're learning and growing.
And it's also about supporting platforms that prioritize freedom of expression.
Like Candy AI.
Right. Which allows for a much wider range of conversations and topics.
And for those who are willing to get a little more hands-on, there's always self-hosting.
Yeah, with tools like Ubabooga.
It gives you that ultimate level of control.
You're the architect of your own AI experience.
It's a pretty powerful concept. And it brings us back to that idea of choice. We have the power to choose the platforms that we want to engage with.
We can choose to support the developers who are creating the kind of AI future that we want to see.
And we can choose to push back against censorship and control.
Because at the end of the day, it's our choices that are going to shape this technology.
It's up to us to decide what role AI is going to play in our lives.
So let's make sure that we're making conscious, informed choices. Choices that reflect our values and our hopes for the future.
Absolutely. And speaking of choices, don't forget that you can find a link to a great character AI alternative in the pinned comment below.
If you're looking for a platform that gives you more freedom, more control, and more trust, then check it out.
And in the meantime, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries.
Because the future of AI is still being written, and we all have a role to play in shaping it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.